get fly like a bird. You keep the commandments, don't know what you heard. Pull out some scripts like I'm a director. I stay with my sword, I'm ready whenever. It's the end of the world.
So watch this. I want to ask you something. Now that you know that Jesus Christ is a black man, what does that mean? What does that mean according to this? Huh? It's a lie, right? So if they lied about that, guess what else? What else you think they lied about? Everything, right? Like, what's your nationality? Hispanic? Did you know that Hispanic means property of Spain? So are you the property of Spain? So how are you Hispanic? I used to think the same thing. I used to say I was African American. Not knowing that Africa was named after a white man named Leo Scipios Africanus. America was named after a white man named Amerigo Vespucci. You see that? How can I be descended from two white men? Makes no sense, right? But I'm going to show you something. Are you familiar with the Bible at all? You heard about Moses? What did Moses do? He led the children of Israel out of Egypt, remember? He told Pharaoh to let my people go. Remember that? How they got the 10 Commandments, the movie? You know what I'm saying? So he told Pharaoh to let my people go. And also, Moses was a black man. You see what I'm saying? So now check this out. What were the Israelites doing in Egypt for Moses to say, let my people go? Huh? Yes, but what were they? They were slaves. You know what I'm saying, right? So now watch this. Give me Deuteronomy 28. I'm going to show you something. We're going to play like how you do when you connect the dots to something, right? So what we're going to do is connect the dots with biblical history, which is real history, okay? So watch this. Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt, and he gave them blessings and curses. And this is what he told them, 28 and 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So he told the Israelites, if y'all don't keep God's commandments, all these curses are going to come up on y'all, all right? Listen what he said about these curses. Give me verse 46.
Verse 46, and they shall be,
and they, meaning these curses,
they shall be upon thee for a sign.
What does a sign do? Step over this way. What does a sign do? Shows you something, right? So he said these curses are going to be upon the children of Israel for a sign. Read.
And for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
And they're going to be upon your children. Your seed is your children forever. So now that means all the way up until today, we can look at these curses and identify who the Israelites are, right? Because there's some people over there in the land of Israel that say they are the Jews, correct? Let's see, because they would have to fit these curses, right? So let's see, give me verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
He said, the Israelites, y'all are going to be cursed in the city. Now, when you go to any city in America, sis, and you go to the hood, the ghetto, whatever you want to call it, what race of people live there? And who else? Right, us, right? We live in the hood. So this is what Moses is telling the Israelites. How you doing, bro? Look, come over here. I'm showing this sister something. I'm going to catch you up with what's going on. You familiar with Moses?
Yes, sir.
Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt, right? What were they doing in Egypt? They were slaves. That's why Moses told Pharaoh, let my people go. So what Moses told the Israelites was, if y'all don't keep God's commandments, you're going to be cursed, right? So what we going over with the sisters, one of the curses that Moses put on the children of Israel, that God put on the children of Israel for not keeping the commandments. Read it again, 16.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
So he said, cursed are you going to be in the city. And like I asked her, when you go to any city in America, and you go to the hood, the ghetto, whatever you want to call it, what race of people live there? Blacks and Mexicans, right? Native American Indians too. So watch, he said the Israelites are going to be cursed in the city. Read.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
And he said you're going to be cursed in the field. Look, who picked cotton for 500 years for free? Huh? Did you know that the Hispanics was out there too? You know what I'm saying? Yes. The Hispanics was out there too. Look, you remember, you ever heard of the Aztecs and the Mayans? That's your ancestors, right? What happened when Christopher Columbus and Ferdinand Cortez came to this side of the earth? What did they do to the Aztecs and the Mayans? Conquered them, put them in slavery, right? All through the islands, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, all Cuba. They were slaves, right? So the same thing happened to both of us, right? He says, cursed shall you be in the city. This is him talking to the Israelites. Follow me, connect the dots. Cursed are you going to be in the field. Give me verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
He said your sons and your daughters are going to be given to another race of people. Did that happen to us? Just what we just got through talking about, slavery, right? Read on.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
And he said you just going to cry all day. Bring it to fast forward to today. What's happening at the border with ICE? What they doing with them kids at the border? They taking the kids, locking them up in cages, right? Right. And he said, and what do you think their parents are doing down there? He said your eyes gonna look and fail with longing for them all the day long, meaning you gonna cry. What you think the mamas down there doing about their kids? They crying, right? Watch. Come on up, sis. Okay, Cindy. What we're going through is the curses that God put on the Israelites for not keeping the commandments, right? So this is one of the curses that we're reading about. We just got through talking about slavery. Well, that's what we're talking about now, is slavery. You ever heard of the Aztecs and the Mayans? What happened when Christopher Columbus and Ferdinand Cortez came to this side of the earth? What did they do to the Aztecs and the Mayans? Don't leave, bro. What did they do to the Aztecs and the Mayans? They put them in slavery, right? They conquered them. Is that correct? Huh? So watch this. Read that again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
God told the Israelites, your sons and daughters going to be given to another people.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
And you just going to cry all day. Read.
And there shall be no might in thy hand.
And there's not going to be nothing you can do about it. What can the parents do about their kids in them cages at the border? Do they have the power to go get them back? What did we have? Did we have the power to get our kids back in slavery throughout the islands, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Cuba? Did we have the power to get our children back? Watch this. Now keep in mind, this is what Moses said was going to happen to the children of Israel. Read verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Look, God told him you're going to have to serve your enemies because y'all don't want to keep my commandments. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
And God sent these enemies against the children of Israel. Read.
In hunger.
Now he says in hunger. Let's fast forward to today. Let's bring it to present day. When we want food, who do we get our food from? Because God is talking to a race of people here. The children of Israel are a race. So now he's saying you're going to have to go to another race to get your food. Who do we get our food from? Who owns the Amigos? Right. Who owns McDonald's? Who owns all these stores around here? He said you're going to have to go to your enemies for food. Read.
And in thirst.
For water. Who do we pay our water bill to? Right. Read.
And in nakedness.
He says for clothing. Who do we get our clothes from? We picked cotton for 500 years and we can't even get a free cotton t-shirt. You see what I'm saying? Read.
And in want of all things.
He said in anything you want, you're going to have to go to somebody else for it. A driver's license, an education. Look at this right here. Look at this. Religion. You want religion, you're going to have to go to them for it. Do you go to church, ma'am? What denomination are you? Catholic? Tell me something. How did the so-called Hispanic people become Catholics? Because mind you, remember, before Christopher Columbus, Ferdinand Cortez, the conquistadors came to this side of the earth, they weren't Catholic. You want me to show you how I know how? Because look at this stone right here. This stone is found in Los Lunas, New Mexico. It's called a Decalogue stone. And what's written on it, first of all, it dates back to 500 BC. That's way before Columbus them got here in 1492. And what's written on it are the 10 Commandments. And so that lets you know that the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Native American Indians that was in this land, they understood God's laws. But also, guess what? Guess what language it was written in? It was written in Paleo-Hebrew. So that also means that the so-called Mayans and the Aztecs and the natives, what language did they speak? Huh?
Spanish?
No, that was written in Hebrew. So what language did they speak? If they wrote in Hebrew, what language did they speak? Huh? Not Jewish. That's like another lineage. They spoke Hebrew. If they wrote in Hebrew, they spoke Hebrew. Before Christopher Columbus and the conquistadors came, the people in this land spoke a dialect of Hebrew. And you know what else Christopher Columbus them brought with them? They brought Catholicism with them. This is how the so-called Hispanic people became Catholics, through slavery. Just like John Smith, the Baptist church. He founded the Baptist church in 1608. Where was our people at in 1608? Slavery in somebody's cotton field. Mormons was in 1830. Where was our people at in 1830? Slavery. So all the religions that we have and that our people are in today are a product of slavery. That's how my grandmother was a Baptist, because Master was a Baptist. All of these religions are fake and made up by men. God didn't do that. But now, let's get back to these curses that Moses told the Israelites. He said, you're going to have to go to your enemies for everything. And what? And he
shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And he said that same enemy is going to put a yoke of iron upon your neck. Did they put yokes of iron on our neck? Yes. Look, that's actual history. They put yokes of iron on the children. He said he's talking to the Israelites. Watch this, read 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So now he's telling them the Lord gonna bring y'all into Egypt again. Look, remember, he had just led the Israelites out of Egypt. Remember, God parted the Red Sea and they walked through the Red Sea on dry land? So now he's saying the Lord gonna bring y'all back into Egypt again. What did we say the Israelites was doing in Egypt? They were slaves. So when they heard Moses say, the Lord gonna bring y'all into Egypt again, what do you think the first thing they thought about? We're gonna go back into what? Slavery. So listen to it again. Read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Into slavery again, but this time how?
With ships.
Say, how did our ancestors get to this side of the earth? What kind of ships? Look, slave ships, right? So he said, God told the Israelites, y'all gonna go into slavery on ships. Look, also with like what we were talking about with the Aztecs and Mayans. When Christopher Columbus them came over here, how did the Aztecs and the Mayans get back to Spain and all across the Europe? Slave ships, right? So he said, the Lord gonna bring you into Egypt or slavery again with ships.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
And you're not gonna see the land no more again. Have we ever seen our land since they brought our ancestors here in slavery? Watch this, read.
And there,
he says, and there, when y'all get off them slave ships,
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
What did they do when they took us off them ships? That we were sold, right? Read.
For bondmen
For slave men,
and bondwomen,
slave women.
and no man shall buy you.
And he said that nobody's going to save you. The word buy means to save. You know what I'm saying? So he said nobody's going to save you. So now, like I said, we're going to connect the dots. If Moses said that these things were going to happen to the children of Israel, everything that we just read, what race of people did that actually happen to? And who else? So if that happened to the blacks and Hispanics, and Moses said it was going to happen to the Israelites, who must we be? Who must we be? Follow me. Moses said this was going to happen to the Israelites. This stuff actually happened to us in history. So who must we be? We are the Israelites. You're not Mexican. You're not Hispanic. You're an Israelite.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.